It's kind of interesting. I feel like my life operates off of multiple calendars, like 4 different calendars. There's the Gregorian calendar, which sort of forces you to awaken every January and figure out what this year is going to hold. It doesn't force you, but it kind of nudges you gently to do that. Do you ever just listen to a clip of yourself and realize, holy shit, I have an accent? Because obviously we're all the center of our own universes, so we don't think we have the accents. But when I listen to this, I'm like, this bitch is Californian. Wow. All right, carrying on. Forced air is coming on. I'm at my parents' house for a minute, which is always a nice place to reflect when you come back to this space. I haven't really talked about this, but like, I've only come back to my parents' house twice now since I moved to Seattle in August of 2021. The first time I came back, it was kind of like an uncomfortable fit because I had made my space in Seattle so my own and so personalized to my lifestyle and my comforts that here, this is somebody else's space. Like, it's my parents' space and they've set it up the way they want to set it up and the bedrooms are different now, and I just kind of felt like this wasn't my own little node anymore. I just felt off, I just felt off. And now that I'm back for the second time, especially coming after a bout of depression, which I'm on the mend now, I think I'm recovering. It's only been a few days since I recorded those really, I don't want to say desperate clips, but they were desperate. Is desperate the adjective for when you're in despair? You're desperate? Because I don't feel like people use it that way, but that is the word I'm looking for. Anyway, I feel like I'm on the mend, and so coming back here this time, it feels a little bit more restorative versus last time it felt a little bit like regression to my old self when I had progressed so much. But now that I've kind of like, not had like a relapse, but just kind of lost myself a little bit, I feel like this is a good place to reset. Anyway, navel gazing 101. Actually, this is like, at this point, if you've been around for these oversharing videos and my channel in general, this is like overgazing. Like, this is like navel gazing like 601. Like, you're in the graduate level courses now of my introspection. Because I do this professionally. I'm professionally introspective, which is actually my dream job, is to just be a professional navel gazer. I would be fantastic at that, which this is like the closest version I think I found to that. Anyway, so there's the Gregorian calendar. So every January, I feel like this January was an especially heavy lift for me. I wasn't expecting 2022 to get off on such a jumbled and kind of dislodging start. Then I also have my birthdays at the end of February. February 28th. So I'm right sort of at the 2-month mark. So month 3 of the year, March 1st, I kind of get a reset. And also sometimes my birthday. I wanted to talk outside for a minute because my mom just came in. And despite being comfortable sharing these thoughts to thousands, when it's the close people in my life that can hear it in real time, a little uncomfy. Somebody's got to explain that psychological principle. My dad built this plant stand. We love a creative parent figure. Anyway, so my birthday, obviously, your age serves as a good time to reflect. So I have the new year, and then I get to almost like have a redo. And then I have a new sort of anniversary to celebrate and a new calendar to flip over, which is my time in Seattle. Like, August 1st will be a year in Seattle, and I'm really looking forward to kind of marking time passing through that, and marking my development through the lens of like how long it's been since I moved to that city, and then just through work, which is like the worst calendar. Through work, there's a fiscal year that you operate on, so our fiscal year starts in December, so that kind of also marks the new year in some ways. So I kind of like complicating the calendar that I live off of and adding some new dimension in there with the others. Like, I really like having opportunities for rebirth and redirection and reflection. So I would encourage you to think about like what anniversaries exist in your life that help you sort of like mark the passage of time and celebrate yourself or process things. So comment those down below, like what your calendars would be. I'm about to go hiking on one of my most beloved trails, but before I do so, I wanted to bring up the sponsor of today's video, which is Ana Luisa, baby. Jewelry has become one of my favorite ways of expressing myself through my appearance because it kind of nicely reflects the eras in my life. Like right now, these are all, it's kind of hard to tell on this shirt, honestly. This isn't like a stacking set of necklaces. 2 of them stack, and then the other 2 I've just mixed because everything pairs so nicely together. Like on my ear, my first and second piercings are Ana Luisa, and then on this one I mixed and matched another earring because you can and you should because it's fun. And if you would like to throw something new into your jewelry mix, their pieces start at $39. They're carbon neutral and you can get 10% off with Katherout 10, which is my code. I will put that in the description. To me, the best kind of jewelry is the kind you don't have to think about all day. Like you're not worried about it falling out or getting scratched or it getting damaged in some way. And that is why time and time again, I continue to work with Ana Luisa because this is the jewelry that I most like to wear in my day-to-day. And like I said, it's kind of reflective of the seasons. Like right now, this is my necklace stacking combo, but next month it might look completely different. My earrings might look completely different. My rings might look completely different. Like they have it all covered on there. So they also do a lot of collections with YouTubers, which are always really fun to check out. I know Nicole Raffi has a pair of earrings on there and Lexi Lombard has a pair of earrings and a necklace. So check them out and I'll see you on the drive over there.
As usual, I'm here unheld. It's not weird. I felt alone in the fog, in your songs. So now I feel real and touch right here.
It is an unreal amount of green in California right now. It's kind of sickening. Like it just feels like this sun-soaked like 65-degree day, or maybe it's like 60 out. I don't even know, but it's like it's the temperature where you don't get sweaty. It's not uncomfortably hot. It's still a cool breeze, but the sun bakes onto you and it just like it literally like warms your spirit, you know? And that is what I need right now. So let's get out and hike.
Waste couple summer away, sitting at a cafe.
If you've never been to California, like this place is crazy. It always has been, always will be. It's so quiet out here. I almost hate to talk. But as I'm sort of trekking along here, I've been reflecting on my relationship to places. Because I don't feel as though everybody has the same sense of like calling to places, but I feel like a very distinct shift in like the character or like the personality of places. Like California to me, it didn't seem like it quite had as strong of a personality as a place like New York does. Like when you go to New York, for the first time last year, it is like just drenched in personality. Like it is steeped in who it is, and stronger than any city in the US, at least that I've discovered. California, a little more of a slow burn, not surprisingly. But upon coming back at this point, like the sunshine just has a different quality to it here, which I know isn't possible because the sun's rays, like they hit the globe at different points, but like it's the same sun. Same sunny boy up there. Still feels different, you know? Let's look.
Water to sky, hair to lips. I get it now after all of this. It never rains like this anymore. Should I put deodorant on a wall?
If I don't admit it to myself enough, like my parents did well by me and my sister by moving out here from Michigan. Because this is just such an idyllic, blessed place to grow up. And capitalism had them working till like 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10 o'clock every day to keep us here. So just remarking on this blessed place with fresh eyes. Just amazing.
Oh, Lexi, you don't even know the best me. Oh, Lexi, I wanna give you the best me.
Anyway, to close out the location-based thought, that's like one of the hardest things for me to describe about why I resonate with Seattle so much, is just like I like the personality of the city, like beyond just the people there, or like the weather or whatever, you know, like those characteristics. It's just like there's just a certain personality to it that I gravitate towards, and Portland doesn't have it. Because people ask me like, how do you pick Portland over Seattle, or how did you pick Seattle over Portland? I feel like my take has always been that Portland gets more clout as a city. Like people think Portland is like cooler, you know. Portland's great, but I just didn't befriend its personality as much as Seattle. It's kind of inexplainable. Like I don't really have anything to point to. There's other people that go to Portland and like the personality better than Seattle, so it goes both ways.
Oh, devil's glass, oh, water park, it's everything, it's vivid.
Last time I came here, this was a one-way trail. Like you really had to only enter in the one way. You couldn't enter the other. And now that I'm here, and after having read Braiding Sweetgrass, I'm like, I bet the animals are laughing at us during that period of time. Like, or the plants, the whole community of life here is probably laughing at us. Like, how badly did you guys fuck up that you have to superimpose traffic controls on nature? Like, honestly, guys, it's a little embarrassing that we are putting in lanes on a trail. I understand the functionality, like the utility for it. Like we had to do that for COVID reasons, but like, how do we get to this point? It's just crazy. Anyway, I didn't make it through my whole hike. I'm not upset at myself though, because I came here to commune with nature, and that's what I've done. And moving your body is very good. Taking it at my own pace, and it's time to stop being so hard on myself, because nobody else is tracking the goal of finishing this hike but me. And also, this hike is just an externally created route on all trails. Doing it out and back like this could be my own DIY hike. So I finished my own invention, my own conception of the hike, and that's what matters.
Great scraps of New York, call me up. Ribbons, letters, tie your knots around my legs. Pistachio shells and shells of eggs. Single rats, coffee lids, signs of life. Lost shoes, mid